If you knew and could see just how much we are letting ourselves off the hook when it comes to being in integrity and following through with the things we say we're going to do. If you looked at that number through a month, through a year, through 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, you would be absolutely blown away at the number of times you let yourself down. The number of times that life or circumstances get in your way. And in this conversation today, I'm going to share with you a few things that I've been studying and researching and looking into when it comes to sabotage, procrastination, perfectionism, all the things that are designed to keep us safe, keep us comfy, keep us stuck right here and right now. And so we're going to break all that down and more on this episode. So stay tuned. I'm Adam Kadu, and it's time to master the art of real heart alignment, where you live, work, and play from your personal power as energy aligns, your gifts flow, and life simply works. These life-changing conversations are designed to help you to see what you're not seeing, hear what you're not hearing, and to be who you're not being, as the world needs more heart-centered leaders now more than ever. Are you ready to say no to living a half-hearted life and say yes instead to boldly living from a place of real heart alignment? Welcome to the Adam Kadu podcast. Yo. Welcome back to the Adam Kadu podcast. It's a good day to have a good day. Sun is shining, birds are chirping, amazing things happen in the business. And what I've realized through the years is that each time I get to a point where things are rocking and rolling, having some huge breakthroughs personally and business-wise, there's this tension or uneasiness that starts to build. And it used to be, it was so close to the ground level to where I couldn't do much of anything without hitting that glass ceiling. Even when it came to doing like a Facebook Live or sharing a video, I think I shared my first ever video on social media in 2014. And I even said in that video that I recorded that video like 20 times before I finally decided I'm just going to go all the way through this video and I'm going to publish it no matter what. And I made my way through the video. I survived, but guess what happened? I didn't post another freaking video for almost a year. So I came out, I had this breakthrough and I was very excited and I got my first video and I was declaring that I'm up to big things and I'm going to be showing up more. But guess what? My mind, my subconscious, my body, that sometimes is just filled with fear and anxious energy and tension, adrenaline, if you will. Those things were getting in the way. Yet again, little by little, inch by inch, I continued to stretch myself further. But I got very curious about what really happens when we're putting ourselves out there and we maybe decide not to do something or talk ourselves out of it. We're so gung-ho, we're so excited, I'm going to do this. And then for whatever reason, we don't do it. Or we do it and then we got some momentum and then we lose our way. Forget where we're at, scratching our heads. Where in the heck did I fall off? How do I get back? And what really comes to play is this word I said earlier, resistance. And there's a great book by Steven Pressfield called The War of Art. And this book is deep when it comes to seeing resistance for what it is and being able to navigate more powerfully through the resistance. Because resistance, unless we are the 1% of the people in the world who have no governor, who have no filter, who can just go and run through a brick wall, the Gary V's and the Tony Robbins, they're inhibited. They don't have this governor that most of us do. And some of us have this governor that's a lot stronger than others. I know back in the day, years and years and years ago, when I would do a webinar presentation, I literally was so fried afterwards because I was so scared and fearing judgment and, and what if I'm found out that I don't know all the things and all this stuff, that I would have to just decompress for like weeks. It would fry me. But little by little, inch by inch, I found the courage in my heart to continue to show up, to be of service and help more people. And I got a little bit more used to it. And I got a little bit more used to jumping a little bit quicker, a little bit faster this time, where I didn't have to get ready to get ready to get ready to get ready. I was going. And my body and my brain and my mind was getting on board with me. They were getting used to it. It's like, okay, we did this thing and no tigers jumped out from the trees and tried to kill us. We survived. We're still alive. Okay, maybe we're okay to do this. But it really took so much of myself to get out of my own damn way to just be of service and share my heart. And there's this term called the acrasia effect that essentially is acting against your better judgment. How many times throughout the day, throughout the weeks, throughout the months, throughout the years, do you know you should be doing something, or you tell yourself you're going to do something, and for whatever reason, you just don't do it? I mean, if you counted up all those missteps, you'd be climbing mountains. You'd be up on top of the mountain if you followed through each and every time you said you're going to do something. But the thing is, there's this force, if you will, that's vying against us. And we can easily write it off to like, oh, that's my subconscious. And I've got, trauma in the body, and I've got resistance here, and, this, that, the other thing. My parents did this, and, oh, this was my experience. But also it's our responsibility to grow beyond that. And I'm not asking you to, just completely just forget everything and rip your governor off and just go. That could lead to burnout. But we'd be fooling ourselves. And that's what happens a lot of the time. That self-sabotage is fooling ourselves to believe that we shouldn't be stretching and doing things that are uncomfortable and doing things that are hard. Everything must be light and easy and in alignment. And then we're looking around thinking, why isn't business taking off? Where am I? But I'm sitting back and I'm manifesting, and my energy is right and my vibe is high and I'm doing all the things. Yes. But when you have resistance, I even had a conversation with a friend years ago. She was saying, hey, yeah, I was thinking about doing this, but, I was just kind of getting in my head about it. And I was like, yeah, fear is funny that way. It's sneaky. It knows exactly how to get us stuck. It knows exactly where to take our minds to keep us right here, right now, doing the same thing as always. And she said, yeah, but it's not fear. It's not fear. It's just like, I'm just not quite sure. Right. And I was like, pose the question. I was like, if you were sure in your heart, if you knew exactly what you wanted to do and you were doing it, would you be working from fear? The answer is no. Okay. So you're not doing the things, and you have resistance and you have hesitations and you have second guesses, but that's not fear. Think we better take another look. And she's like, oh, dang, you're right. It is. And sometimes just being able to catch a glimpse of it and be like, oh, I'm showing up this way. I get it now, but I'm done with that. So I'm going to show up a different way. And the same thing is with the acrasia effect, right? In our hearts, we know what we're capable of. We know we can show up and help people and do our work that we're here to do. But, oh, got a bad night of sleep. Oh, got in a fight with a significant other. Oh, I, just ate some food that didn't set well with me. Oh, I've got to tidy up on this first. There's always this opportunity for us to go against our better judgment. I promise you, when you start to see, hey, look, this is what I'm doing. This is where I'm playing at this new level. And you take that action, all of a sudden you break so much mold. You see yourself differently. You get this feeling of inspiration and momentum. And once you continue to play this game from integrity, doing what you say you're going to do, and also leaning in to say, I'm going to do the hard things. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Because I know some people are like to trick themselves. Like, well, I don't want to be out of integrity. So I'll just make sure that whatever I commit to is easy and I can do it and I will do it. That's that same comfort zone conversation. If we're just doing the easy things, it's still coming from this place of fear of not wanting to go for it, not wanting to show up, not wanting to jump. Leap and the net will appear. And I've seen it so many times in my life and in my clients' lives, my mentors' lives. When you leap, that net will appear. But it takes a new sort of focus and dedication to show up in that way. One of the best ways to start jumping more often, or at least taking more bold steps. We don't always have to jump and have these huge quantum breakthroughs or quantum growth. But if we take a step, sometimes that's all we need to prove ourselves wrong and to see what we are capable of. One of the greatest ways to do that is to put yourself in an environment, yes, a physical environment, yes, a mental environment when it comes to your your psychology and your physiology, but also to connect yourself with the people around you that have huge hearts and who are up to big things. And when you can root people on fully and not get jealous or why not me and why them, when you can root them on from the bottom of your heart and they're rooting you on from the bottom of your heart, and they're sharing their secrets and they're sharing their stories and they're sharing their successes and their failures, all of a sudden growth becomes inevitable. It's like you have this flower. Let's call ourselves a flower, and we're in this environment. We're like, I'm not growing. I'm not growing. But then you look at the size of the pot that you're planted in, and it's small. It's kind of dirty. It's kind of danky. It's cracked a little bit. It's leaning a little bit this way, right? And there's a whole bunch of stuff that isn't conducive for your growth around that pot. But then you put yourself in a bigger environment next to other beautiful flowers that are here to support the soil that you're in, the foundation, and you're all growing together. It's a natural evolution when you think of it that way. But as business owners, besides our team, and maybe we have our mentor that we can kind of talk to every now and again and get some advice maybe every few weeks, or we jump on a call here and there, or we have a coach that is only a little bit higher of a level than us, and we're asking questions and getting support that way. Yeah, that's extending your environment. But what about getting in a place where every single person in that place, in that environment, is thinking on a new level, is seeing things more clearly, is showing up and playing a fuller game? And these people you love, and they love you. Do you feel that you'd be better equipped to get the results you're after? I would assume the answer would be yes. And so seeing my mentors through the years, endorsing each other as affiliates and, having each other on each other's podcasts and really helping each other grow. But then it's almost like the peeps in the middle, then we got the peeps that are just kind of starting out, right? But then we got the peeps in the middle who've been doing the thing, who are seeing some growth here and there, but we're still just only in this environment with our team and, maybe a few business friends. Maybe you got a little mastermind, AKA mastermind, that's actually more of like a chat group or an accountability group. It's not a true mastermind in the sense of the word, where you're all looking out for each other, all supporting each other. You would do anything at the drop of a hat for the people in this group. And we're all supporting, we're all facilitating, we're all sharing, we're all endorsing each other. Imagine the type of growth when we play that game. Because yet again, you see your mentors doing it. And the people that you're following online right now, I can guarantee they are so deeply connected, and that's allowed them to get to the level they're at. These people are inviting each other to live events. They're, recommending each other to certain people. That's how they're growing. It's a huge part of it. And some of my mentors, that's how they got started. They were endorsed by somebody else. They got this big boost. But yet again, some of us, it's like, we got to slug this out. We got to do our own thing. We got to find our own way. And we're not really being smart about creating an environment that's conducive to our aligned growth. And so for a very long time, I've had it in the back of my mind and on my heart to create a mastermind. And yet again, not a group coaching program or a, hey, look, let's learn everything We can from the mentor, or in this case, myself, since I'm running the mastermind. This isn't a learn from Adam environment. This is a learn from each other environment. This is a get to know each other in our businesses and our nuances and our patterns and our behaviors so well that we can call each other out lovingly. We know what each other does. So that way, if opportune arises, we can drop names. We can boost each other up. We can share each other, have each other on a podcast, all this stuff. Or we can continue to go alone and, get on some podcasts here and there, talk to the mentor every once in a while. And that might produce some growth. But if you really want to grow, we got to set that foundation. So, like I said, that's exactly why I created the Business Ascension Mastermind. Because I see and I've been around and I am deeply connected with so many entrepreneurs with huge hearts and who are absolutely flat out doing it. They're doing their thing. They're showing up. They're being authentic. And so what I'm essentially doing is inviting these peeps that I've kept a close eye on through the years to apply and participate in this mastermind. And there's also seats open to the public as well. So if you're a past student of mine, or if you've been listening to the podcast for a while and you're ready for that next level evolution, you're ready to set the foundation in a more solid way to get the support and the partnerships and the love and the safe space you need to do the work you're here to do in the way you're here to do it. And so I'm going to be talking more and more about the mastermind over the next few weeks. There's going to be a deadline to apply by the 29th of February, 2024, for those of you listening to this later. But if you're hearing this as well, chances are that we have a wait list where you can get on the wait list to be able to be notified when we're bringing on new members. But for right now, this is it for me. This is my focus. This is my heart. And it's easy to look back and to see all the resistance around it, all the doubts, all the hesitations, the who am I, to what ifs, the doubts, the insecurities. I mean, they weighed heavily on me for far too long. But I got to a point where I was just like, you know what? I see it. I see what's going on here. And this is not going to leave me alone until I freaking get it out into the public, until I get this mastermind off the ground. And the time is now. And so if you are ready to step up, to play at a new level, to see yourself as your best self because others are seeing you as your best self, I'm welcoming 12 members into the first iteration, the first evolution of the Business Ascension Mastermind. If this is something that you are interested in or curious and you would like to hear more, you can go to adamkadu.com/mastermind or send me a direct message on Instagram, Facebook. We can jump on a call, connect, catch up. And either way, this year for me, it's so much about networking because I've played the solo entrepreneur game in years past. I've also played the game where I have my team, right? I can communicate with my team, my support system, if you will, which, if you will, like I am the CEO, so I'm kind of seeing things differently. It's my business, right? So chances are, even though I've got some rock stars on my team, I've got to be able to put myself in a new environment that's conducive to even more growth, right? I've got my mentors that I got access to, and I'm actually being coached by some amazing people right now. But it's still, I know and I've seen and I've felt the impact when it comes to getting the right people in the right environment at the right time. And when it comes to the right environment, you leave that to me because I'm only welcoming in, I'm only accepting the best of the best. Those with huge hearts, those who are actually taking action and doing the thing, not sitting back in procrastination and trying to nail their niche for the 500th time, to shifting from this launch model to this launch model to this launch model, chasing their tail. There's a time and place. And the time and place right now is to create this new environment for this new level. And that is the Business Ascension Mastermind. So if you are interested, or if you feel called at all, even in the back of your mind, if you have that acacia effect, if you've got that self-sabotage, if you've got that negative voice in your head saying, oh, it's not for me, I'm not ready, I'm not to the level that I need to be, let me decide. And also, how long are we going to play that story without getting yourself in the place that's going to allow explosive and more aligned growth for you? So yet again, you can go to adamkadu.com/mastermind to apply. We've also got a video there to talk a little bit more. And I am going to be doing a Q&A session on Zoom. You can find information on that page as well to answer any and all questions that you might have about this mastermind, because you're getting so much. You're getting unprecedented full access to me all throughout the year. Like literally, you want to communicate, we're going to be communicating. You've got a launch going up, I'm in your corner. I'm right with you. That alone, no shame in my game, is worth the investment. Then you've got 12 other huge-hearted people who are all working together to make sure that we're holding ourselves to a higher standard, because we know the importance of getting our work out into the world and not just dabbling and, getting it out and getting some results, but really doing the thing, really maximizing on our time here, maximizing on our gifts and our experiences. I've also got additional training and bonuses that I'm giving. I'm essentially giving you my Rolodex of all my past trainings, whether it be, coaching or creating offers or creating unique mechanisms when it comes to how you position your messaging and what you do. I've got planning, like high level executive planning trainings. Like that alone, yet again, is worth the investment. And I'm telling you, to be in a room with like-minded people with huge hearts in the world we're living in today, it's imperative that we have these relationships, that we're here to support each other, because we are all in this together. And you'll continue to see the big names showing up on each other's podcasts and being endorsed and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. And if we're not playing that game, at least to a certain degree, our growth is stalled. It's slow. And I'm not opposed to slow growth, but wouldn't you want to do things a little smarter? Wouldn't you want to do things a little bit more effectively to where you don't have to work as hard and push the boulder up the hill? And with the right people in the right environment in the right time, so much becomes possible for you. Your success truly becomes inevitable. So, if you're interested at all, go to adamkadu.com/mastermind. More information for you there, and you can apply. And until next time, if it ain't working with me and the Business Ascension Mastermind, the 12 of the most amazing people on this planet, find yourself a new room with new people. And I do say, be careful of these mini masterminds, these free masterminds, where you got Bobby Joe and Peggy Sue showing up just kind of half-heartedly. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. You spend 30, 45 minutes up front just kind of chatting. Oh, I did this and I did this. And oh, I'm, this, that, the other thing. And you got one person that's usually sucking the room dry, asking all the questions, doing the things. That ain't happening in this mastermind. I've thought through this for hundreds of hours. I've planned meticulously. I've studied from the best of the best. And I promise you, you leave the environment up to me. And if you want to play a bigger game at a new level, then you know what to do. That's it for this episode. Much more coming your way. Much love to you and to yours. Keep an eye out for that acacia effect. Keep an eye out for that self-sabotage, because it's at every corner. There's this law of average that we're constantly fighting against. And I made a declaration to myself years ago. I ain't settling for mediocrity. That ain't for me. That's for the birds. And I know that's not for you either. But sometimes we fall into these negative loops, these negative patterns. And so if you want to be seen, if you want to be heard, if you want to be understood, if you want to get the things out of your way that are plaguing you and holding you back, this is the environment for you. So keep an eye on that self sabotage. No more getting in your own way, talking yourself out of stuff. The time is now to stay in integrity and to play in an environment that's designed for you to win. So much love to you. Go help somebody today. The world needs more heart-centered leaders now more than ever. So damn it, let's go lead. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Adam Could Do podcast. If you would take a moment to subscribe and click the bell icon so that way you get notified when future episodes air. Now, here's the thing. If you are looking for the show notes, you can find a link to those below. If you're looking for the handles of the guests that I've been interviewing, things of that nature, you'll find that here. And if there's anything else that stood out to you in the episode, or if there's anything I can do for you, please leave a comment below, or for sure message me on Instagram if you'd like, as I'm always looking to hear what's working well for you and what caught your interest about the Adam Can Do podcast. So, time to go, time to change the world, time to help more people. Are you ready? Let's go do this thing. The world needs more leaders. So thanks again for listening to the Adam Could Do podcast.